Mahomes with pressure finds a wide open Kelce. Travis Kelce, touchdown! 37 yards for 87.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is a name that sends a ripple of excitement through NFL fans everywhere. 4 years now, Mahomes has been the golden child of Kansas City, a player whose dazzling arm, uncanny vision, and improvisational magic have turned games upside down and left defenses gasping for air. But as the defending AFC Champions kicked off a new season, one that carried the weight of expectation and the fresh sting of last year's Super Bowl heartbreak, something felt different. The aura of invincibility seemed just a bit thinner. The Chiefs, usually quick to ignite, struggled to find their spark. The stage was set in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a football-crazed city that rarely gets to host a game of such magnitude. The Olympians Arena was packed to the rafters, the crowd humming with anticipation. The Chiefs faced the Los Angeles Chargers, a team hungry to dethrone them, and for the first time in a long time, the Chiefs looked vulnerable. Patrick Mahomes, typically a maestro orchestrating symphonies of points, struggled to get Kansas City's offense in gear. Passes whistled just out of reach. Receivers slipped, defenders closed in, and the pocket seemed to collapse a heartbeat too soon. The air was thick with uncertainty. Yet, if there's one thing Mahomes has proven, it's that you can never count him out. Midway through the third quarter, with the Chiefs trailing and the offense sputtering, Mahomes did what he does best. He took matters into his own hands. Facing a sea of defenders and a collapsing pocket, he tucked the ball and bolted for the end zone. His legs churned, defenders dove, and somehow, Mahomes sliced through the chaos for a rushing touchdown that electrified the crowd and cut the Chargers' lead to just 1 point. Suddenly, hope flickered in Kansas City's sideline. But football, like life, rarely follows a script. The Chiefs, emboldened by their quarterback's heroics, pushed forward. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Mahomes, scanning the field with that signature cool, unleashed a laser downfield. Tight end Travis Kelce, back in peak form and moving with the confidence of a seasoned predator, hauled in the 37-yard touchdown pass. The crowd erupted. The Chiefs were back within 2 points, and for a moment, it felt like the old Kansas City magic was back. This year, there are cracks in the Chiefs' armor. It's not just about Mahomes and Kelce anymore. The absence of wide receiver Rashee Rice, suspended for 6 weeks, left a gaping hole in the passing game. Xavier Worthy, the young speedster who had been touted as a breakout star, exited the contest after a brutal hit to the shoulder. Suddenly, Mahomes was left with a cast of unfamiliar faces and unreliable hands. The offense, usually a blur of motion and innovation, devolved into something disjointed and predictable. It wasn't just the offense that struggled. The Chiefs' defense, usually so stout, was porous. Defensive lineman Kais Jones seemed a step slow, out of sync, and unable to disrupt the Chargers' attack. Jawan Taylor, the highly paid tackle, racked up a series of costly penalties that killed momentum and left fans groaning in frustration. Little mistakes piled up into big problems. By the final whistle, the Chiefs had dropped their season opener, a rare sight in the Mahomes era. Losses, in the grand scheme, are just data points. Every great team stumbles. But for Kansas City, this defeat felt different. It wasn't just the scoreline, it was the uncertainty that now shadowed their path. With injuries mounting and suspensions forcing untested players into the spotlight, the Chiefs suddenly looked ordinary. The spotlight, inevitably, turned to Mahomes. He's long been the face of the franchise, the one expected to pull victories out of thin air. But as he stood on the sideline, helmet off, eyes scanning the field, the pressure was palpable. Reporters buzzed about the offense's lack of rhythm, the dearth of reliable receiving targets, and the potential for a season to spiral before it ever truly began. Travis Kelce, usually a fountain of energy and bravado, found himself in the thick of the action, both good and bad. At one point, he was punched in the face by a Chargers defender. Instead of retaliating, Kelce did what competitors do best. He kept his focus, channeling his frustration into a perfectly timed touchdown that reminded everyone why he's still the league's best tight end. Yet, even Kelce's heroics couldn't mask the team's problems. The absence of Rice and Worthy left Mahomes with few reliable options. The passing game, once a hurricane, became a series of checkdowns and short gains. The Chiefs couldn't sustain drives. The magic was missing. Now, the questions start to swirl. The Chiefs open the season with a loss, something that rarely happens with Mahomes at the helm. Fans, spoiled by years of dominance, are suddenly anxious. Is this the beginning of a decline, or merely a bump in the road? Can the coaching staff find answers before the season slips away? And perhaps most critically, how will Mahomes respond to the mounting pressure? The immediate future is fraught with uncertainty. The Chiefs return home to face the Philadelphia Eagles, a team with its own championship aspirations and no mercy for wounded opponents. Xavier Worthy's status hangs in the balance as he awaits the results of his MRI. Will he be back in time to help Mahomes, or will the Chiefs have to rely on players who have yet to prove themselves under the brightest lights? As the team regroups, the locker room is a study in contrasts. Veterans preach patience and perspective, reminding younger players that one game does not define a season. Coaches huddle over game tape, searching for answers, tweaking schemes and personnel groups. Mahomes, ever the leader, addresses the media with characteristic poise, refusing to blame anyone but himself. Yet, beneath the surface, you can sense the urgency. The NFL is unforgiving, and a slow start can quickly become a lost season. But here's the thing about the Chiefs, and about Mahomes in particular: they thrive in chaos. Adversity has a way of sharpening their focus, fueling their creativity. In seasons past, when the odds seemed stacked against them, Mahomes found new ways to win. Whether it was a no-look pass, a sidearm sling, or a last-second scramble, he made the impossible seem routine. The challenge now is greater than ever. With key pieces missing and defenses keying in on Kelce, Mahomes must elevate not just his own play, but the performance of those around him. It's a test of leadership, resilience, and adaptability. And if you're a Chiefs fan, this is where hope flickers. Because Mahomes has always been more than just a quarterback. He's a force of nature, a player whose belief in himself and his teammates has lifted Kansas City from also-rans to perennial contenders. If anyone can navigate the storm, it's him. As the season unfolds, questions will persist. Can the Chiefs patch up their offensive line woes? Will a new receiving star emerge from the shadows? Can the defense tighten up and provide the stops needed to win close games? The answers will come week by week, play by play, in moments of brilliance and heartbreak. For now, all eyes are on Mahomes. The stage is set, the stakes are high, and the world is watching. One loss doesn't define a season, but how the Chiefs respond might define an era. Will they rally, dig deep, and chase another shot at glory? Or will the cracks widen and the dynasty fade into memory? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, the story is far from over. And for fans in Kansas City and beyond, that's reason enough to keep watching, breath held, waiting for the next chapter in the epic saga of the Chiefs.